Welcome to today's Explainer. You know, if you're curious about exactly how New York City completely rewrites its own rules every single August, well, you are absolutely in the right place. We are diving into the massive return of Summer Streets for 2026. And look, this isn't just some tiny roped-off street fair. It's a fundamental, albeit temporary, rewriting of how the entire city operates. And the sheer scale of it is just fascinating.
Just picture waking up in New York on a Saturday morning. Normally, your whole sensory experience is just defined by honking horns, screeching brakes, and endless gridlock. But during Summer Streets, it's completely transformed. The asphalt is entirely reclaimed, so instead of roaring engines, the sounds echoing off the buildings are sneakers hitting the pavement, the ringing of bicycle bells, and just the chatter of people enjoying completely empty roads. It's this wild, almost utopian, car-free reality right in the middle of one of the busiest cities on the planet.
And the scale of this thing is staggering. 20. That is the number of miles of completely car-free roads created for this event. 20 continuous miles, stretching all the way from the Brooklyn Bridge in the south right up to Inwood in the north. Just take a second to think about the massive logistical coordination it takes to carve a 20-mile car-free artery directly through the heart of Manhattan. It's wild.
So let's just lay out the game plan for today. We're going to cover how the city reclaims these streets, the exact schedule for 2026, how on earth to navigate the closures, all the amazing cultural stuff that makes it more than just a bike ride, and finally, the big picture of why this all matters.
All right, kicking things off with reclaiming the streets. Let's trace this 20 miles of freedom.
The event carves out this continuous, massive path. It starts down at the Brooklyn Bridge, heads right up Lafayette Street, transitions onto the iconic Park Avenue corridor, swings over at 110th Street to Broadway, and then just keeps going all the way up to Dyckman Street in Inwood. Every single one of these avenues is totally devoid of taxis and civilian vehicles. Families, runners, cyclists, they get to take right to the middle of the road. It offers this incredible psychological relief, just escaping that daily gridlock. Imagine the absolute thrill of riding a scooter straight down the center of Lafayette Street without looking over your shoulder for traffic even once.
Actually, a reporter on the ground at the Astor Place rest stop caught up with a local dad, and he said, "This is the only time my kids actually believe me when I say they own the city." I just love that. It perfectly drives home the palpable joy and, honestly, the sheer disbelief that families experience when they're basically handed the keys to the city streets.
Moving on to the schedule for 2026, the program has expanded vastly since it first launched back in 2008.
So, Summer Streets 2026 isn't just a Manhattan-centric event anymore. It actually covers all 5 boroughs over 5 distinct Saturdays. It already kicked off on July 25th in Queens and Staten Island. Then, Manhattan takes center stage for 3 consecutive weekends. That's August 1st, 8th, and 15th. And finally, the whole initiative wraps up on August 22nd, bringing that awesome car-free experience to Brooklyn and the Bronx.
Now here's a really cool detail. There's a shift in the operational hours this year, and it's based directly on community feedback. In Manhattan, they open the streets early, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., but out in the boroughs, the event shifts to 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The city actually listened to the residents here, which means, yes, folks in the outer boroughs actually get to sleep in a little bit before hitting the pavement.
Okay, next up, navigating the closures. You definitely need to plan ahead because while this is an absolute dream for pedestrians, an event this massive naturally brings some serious friction for drivers.
If you are planning to drive anywhere near these areas, you've got to prepare for what the city calls hard closures. For instance, the entire Park Avenue corridor is blocked off from 8th Street all the way up to 181st Street. Plus, the Manhattan-bound side of the Brooklyn Bridge, completely closed to drivers until 3:30 p.m. Oh, and don't forget the parking restrictions. Those kick in at midnight and run until 4 p.m. These are major, unavoidable disruptions, so don't get caught off guard. As a result, traffic gets aggressively diverted to the FDR Drive and Park Row South exits. Reporters are already noting long delays on both the BQE and the FDR. So my direct practical advice for you? Skip the drive entirely. Literally, just don't do it unless you really enjoy staring at brake lights for 3 hours. The MTA has added extra service on the 4, 5, and 6 trains specifically to handle these crowds. Just a heads up, though. MTA buses along the route are rerouted, so checking your transit app before you step out is an absolute must.
Now let's talk about the fun stuff. This is way more than just biking. Think of it as a massive cultural block party.
Because really, this isn't just some giant, sweaty workout. The city has strategically placed these rest stops roughly every mile and a half, and they offer an incredible variety of things to do. Down at the 40th and Park stop near Grand Central, you can literally play lawn games right on the street. Moving along Broadway, you can jump into free fitness classes. We're talking yoga, Zumba, boot camps, the whole shebang. And up at the 125th Street stop in Harlem, you can take a breather and just soak in some incredible live jazz and dance performances. It's just a brilliant activation of public space, really highlighting the physical and mental health benefits of prioritizing people over vehicles in our urban design.
And you'll definitely want your camera for this next part. One of the most anticipated visual highlights of the event is called the Bower. It's located right near the 109th Street rest stop. It's this massive shading structure designed by artist Elsa Ponce, purposefully created to represent the canopy of New York's trees. It adds this beautiful, highly Instagram-worthy art installation right dead in the middle of the roadway. It's a perfect merging of urban infrastructure and art.
Now, to maximize your time out there, keep an eye out for partners handing out free goodies. I mean, who doesn't love free stuff, right? Zespri is passing out kiwi fruit samples, and Just Iced Tea is doing giveaways to keep everyone refreshed. If you don't own a bike, no worries. City Bike is offering discounts all weekend long right through their app. But most importantly, get a load of this weather forecast. Clear skies and 75 degrees. You couldn't ask for better conditions. Just be sure to bring a water bottle, slap on some sunscreen, and you're good to go.
I have to share this sweet quote that a reporter caught from a 9-year-old participant named Alina. She told them, "I love it. I'm riding my new bike and I don't have to stop for cars. My dad says I can ride all the way to the top." And she was totally planning to ride all 20 miles, fully armed with snacks. This right here just perfectly humanizes the data, doesn't it? It captures that pure, unfiltered freedom of being a kid in a massive city and suddenly discovering that the streets belong to you.
Finally, let's look at the big picture and what reclaiming all this asphalt really means.
500,000, 500,000 people. That is the massive number of participants who turned out across all 5 boroughs during last year's Summer Streets event alone. And you know, that turnout brilliantly illustrates a pretty profound concept. When 500,000 New Yorkers and visitors reclaim the asphalt from gridlock, they are proving what a city can truly be. It's a powerful reminder that our urban environments don't just have to be about traffic jams, honking, and stress. When we pause and rethink how we use our public spaces, they can evolve into beautiful, shared, active environments that genuinely bring the community together.
Which leaves us with this final thought for today's explainer. How will you reclaim your streets? Whether it's walking, running, biking, or maybe just sitting at a rest stop watching the city go by in a completely new way, there is a huge opportunity here to experience your environment differently. I really hope this guide helps you get out there and enjoy it. Stay safe, stay hydrated, and keep exploring.